Hi there, welcome back to American Lingo Academy. I'm Fiona, and today we're going to learn 10 super useful phrasal verbs that native English speakers use all the time in everyday conversation. These verbs might sound a little tricky at first, but don't worry. I'm going to explain each one very clearly with simple examples so you can start using them right away. So let's get started. Number 1, edge out. This phrasal verb means to win against someone or something by just a tiny amount. It's like when two people are competing and one person wins, but only by a little bit. We use this when the competition is very close and someone barely gets ahead of the other person. For example, imagine two students are trying to get the top grade in their class. Sarah studied really hard and got a 95 on the final exam. Tom also studied hard and got a 94. Sarah edged out Tom for the highest score. She won, but just barely. It was so close. Here's another one. Think about two companies that are trying to sell the most phones this year. Company A sold 10 million phones and Company B sold 9.8 million phones. Company A edged out Company B to become the #1 seller. The difference was very small, but Company A still won. Number 2, edge up. This phrasal verb means to move up slowly, little by little. We often use this to talk about prices, numbers, or even physical movement when something goes up just a tiny bit at a time. It's a gradual increase, not a big jump all at once. For example, let's say you're watching the price of gas at the gas station near your house. Last month it was $3 per gallon. This month it's $3.10. Next month, it might be $3.20. The price is edging up slowly. It's not jumping up a lot all at once, but it's definitely going up bit by bit. Here's another one. Imagine you're in a crowded concert and you want to get closer to the stage. You can't just run to the front because there are too many people, so you edge up slowly. You take a small step forward, wait a little, then take another small step. You're moving closer, but very slowly and carefully. Number 3, egg on. This phrasal verb means to encourage someone to do something, usually something they shouldn't do or something that might cause trouble. When you egg someone on, you're pushing them to take action, often in a playful or mischievous way. For example, imagine your friend is thinking about doing a funny dance in front of everyone at a party, but he's feeling shy. You and your other friends start saying things like, "Come on, do it, it'll be so funny, we want to see it." You're egging him on. You're encouraging him to do the dance even though he's nervous. Here's another one. Think about two kids at school. One kid is thinking about pulling a prank on the teacher, like putting a fake spider on her desk. The other kid keeps saying, do it, she'll never know it was you." That second kid is egging on the first kid. He's pushing his friend to do the prank. Number 4, eke out. This phrasal verb means to make something last or to get by with very little. We use this when someone is barely managing to survive or to make something work with limited resources. It's about doing your best with what you have, even when it's not much. For example, imagine a small business owner who is having a tough year. Sales are low and money is tight, but she's working really hard to keep the business open. She's cutting costs, working long hours, and being very careful with every dollar. She's eking out a living. She's making just enough money to survive and pay her bills, but it's not easy. Here's another one. Think about a college student who has only $10 left until payday next week. He needs to buy food, but he doesn't have much money. So he buys some rice, some beans, and a few vegetables. He eats very simple meals and makes that food last the whole week. He's eking out his food budget. He's making it work with very little money. Number 5, embark on. This phrasal verb means to start something new, especially something important or big like a journey, a project, or a new chapter in your life. When you embark on something, you're beginning an adventure or a significant experience. For example, imagine your friend just got accepted to medical school. She's about to start 4 years of very difficult studying. She's excited, but also nervous because it's a huge commitment. She's embarking on a long journey to become a doctor. She's starting this important new phase of her life. Here's another one. Think about a couple who decides to travel around the world for 1 year. They quit their jobs, sell their furniture, and buy plane tickets to Asia. They're embarking on an amazing adventure. They're starting this big, exciting trip that will change their lives. Number 6, embark upon. This phrasal verb means exactly the same thing as embark on. It's just another way to say it. We use embark upon to start something important or significant. Some people think embark upon sounds a little more formal, but in everyday conversation, both are perfectly fine. For example, imagine a company that wants to create a brand new product that nobody has ever made before. The team has a meeting, and the boss says, "Today we embark upon a new project that will change our industry." They're starting this important new work together. Here's another one. Think about someone who decides to write a book for the first time. They've never written a book before, but they have a great story idea. They sit down at their computer, open a blank document, and start typing the first chapter. They're embarking upon a creative journey. They're beginning the long process of writing their first book. If you're enjoying this lesson and finding these phrasal verbs helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. We upload new videos every single day to help you improve your English and sound more like a native speaker. Your support really means the world to me. Okay, let's keep going. Number 7, empty out. This phrasal verb means to remove everything from inside something until it's completely empty. We use this when we take all the contents out of a container, a room, a bag, or any space that has things in it. For example, imagine you're moving to a new apartment and you need to pack up your old bedroom. You open your closet and you see it's full of clothes, shoes, and boxes. You need to empty out the closet completely. You take out all the clothes, all the shoes, and all the boxes until there's nothing left inside. Now the closet is empty and ready for the next person. Here's another one. Think about coming home from the grocery store with bags full of food. You put the bags on the kitchen counter, and then you start taking things out. You take out the milk, the bread, the eggs, the vegetables, everything. You empty out all the grocery bags and put the food away in the refrigerator and cabinets. Now the bags are empty. Number 8, end in. This phrasal verb means to finish or conclude with a particular result or situation. We use this to talk about how something finishes, especially when the ending is important or unexpected. It tells us what the final outcome was. For example, imagine two people go on a first date. They meet at a nice restaurant, they talk for hours, and they really enjoy each other's company. At the end of the night, they realize they have so much in common. The date ends in a kiss. That's how the evening finished. The final moment of their date was a romantic kiss. Here's another one. Think about a big soccer game between two teams. Both teams play really hard for 90 minutes and the score is tied. Nobody can score another goal. When the referee blows the final whistle, the score is still 1-1. The game ends in a tie. That's the final result. Neither team won or lost. Number 9, end up. This phrasal verb means to finally arrive at a place, situation, or condition, often in a way you didn't plan or expect. It's about where you finish or what happens in the end, especially when it's different from what you originally thought would happen. For example, imagine you're driving to a friend's house, but you get lost because you took a wrong turn. You drive around for 30 minutes trying to find the right street. Finally, you arrive at your friend's house, but you're very late. You end up getting there 45 minutes later than you planned. That's where you finally arrived, even though it took longer than expected. Here's another one. Think about someone who starts college planning to study business because their parents want them to. But in their first year, they take an art class just for fun and they absolutely love it. They realize art is their true passion. After thinking about it carefully, they change their major to art. They end up studying art instead of business. That's what finally happened, even though it wasn't the original plan. Number 10, end up with. This phrasal verb means to finally have something or to finish in possession of something, often as a result of a series of events. It's about what you have in the end, especially when it might be surprising or different from what you expected. For example, imagine you go to a restaurant planning to order a salad because you want to eat healthy, but when you look at the menu, you see they have a special dessert that looks amazing. You order the salad, but then you also order the dessert. And then your friend orders French fries and you eat some of those too. You end up with a lot more food than you planned. That's what you finally have on your table. Here's another one. Think about someone who goes to an animal shelter just to look at dogs. They're not planning to adopt one, they just want to see the cute puppies. But then they meet the sweetest dog who comes right up to them and seems to love them immediately. They fill out the adoption papers and take the dog home that same day. They end up with a new pet even though they didn't plan to adopt. That's what they finally have because of how things developed. Wow, we covered 10 really useful phrasal verbs today. Let's do a quick review so you can remember them better. We learned edge out, which means to win by just a little bit. We learned edge up, which means to move or increase slowly. We learned egg on, which means to encourage someone to do something. We learned eke out, which means to barely manage with very little. We learned embark on and embark upon, which both mean to start something important. We learned empty out, which means to remove everything from inside something. We learned end in, which means to finish with a particular result. We learned end up, which means to finally arrive at a place or situation. And we learned end up with, which means to finally have something. Now I want to give you a little homework. Try to use at least 3 of these phrasal verbs in your own sentences this week. Maybe write them down in a notebook or practice saying them out loud. The more you use them, the more natural they'll feel. You can even leave a comment below with your own example sentences. I love reading your comments and seeing how you're using what you learn. Remember, learning English is a journey, and every new word or phrase you learn is a step forward. Don't worry if you don't remember everything perfectly right away. That's totally normal. Just keep practicing, keep watching videos like this one, and you'll get better and better. I'm so proud of you for taking the time to learn today. Before we finish, I want to remind you one more time to subscribe to American Lingo Academy if you haven't already. We upload new videos every single day with lessons just like this one. You'll learn new vocabulary, phrasal verbs, idioms, and so much more. Every video is designed to help you speak English more naturally and confidently. Plus, when you subscribe and turn on notifications, you'll never miss a new lesson. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I really appreciate you being here and working on your English. You're doing an amazing job, and I can't wait to see you in the next video. Until then, keep practicing, stay positive, and remember that every conversation is an opportunity to learn. Take care, and I'll see you tomorrow with another great lesson. Bye for now.